welcome to another episode of Life is Hard TV, the life show for the rest of us. You tuned into the Wine Channel. Here it is Saturday afternoon here in Monroe, Connecticut at the GlenRo Spirit Shop once again. And I'm with Jon Haight, our wine expert. And he has a website, wineunwrapped.com, great website. What do you have on your site right now? What do you plan to do with it?
What I just posted yesterday, I went to a huge Italian trade show, and I just put that up on there. But basically, it's for wine education, for people to contact me. It's a whole bunch of things about winemaking also.
And we're going to do some wine-making episodes in the future. I've thought about myself actually buying grapes and making wine. I know it's a lot of work. It's got to be something that you're really passionate about. And it's a nice hobby.
It's great. It's great when you can go down the cellar and pick up something that's your own.
Right.
And it tastes good too.
Trial and error. And I've heard you need to commit to a certain amount of wine, or you have to make a certain barrel.
5 gallons the minimum.
Yeah, right.
Can't make less than that.
And it can be a pretty good investment up front, but if you're in it for the long haul, probably per bottle is going to be a lot less for the quality. So, okay, great. So today we're going to focus on the basics or etiquette of wine tasting. We hit on that a little bit last week, but really, why do we need to pour it into a glass and swirl it beforehand? Some of the terminology, I think legs come to mind, and some other things.
Everybody loves the legs.
What is it about legs? I want to clear that up.
So I want you to start with that. Try to hold it by the stem or by the base so you don't get fingerprints on it. When you have wine in it, that does warm it up. And so if you're trying to examine the wine and saw fingerprints, I think we're dirty windshield. So you start with that.
So start with the stem.
Yeah, the glasses are always good. The tulip shapes are nice. I use these for everyday wines, for everything, white and red.
White and red, okay.
Yeah, but you can go crazy and buy all kinds of.
Yeah, is there a difference in the shape between a red wine glass and a white wine glass?
There are some. Yeah.
I know the size. Usually, white wine glass is smaller.
Yeah, usually. I mean, almost all of them have that tulip thing going on. Some have a little narrower at the mouth here, but they're pretty close. I mean, there are companies that make a lot of money by selling you wine glasses for every wine dish.
Right.
I don't think it's really necessary.
I've noticed, I can't remember where we picked them up, they were cool-looking wine glasses. They kind of tapered out, but they weren't conducive to swirling because the wine would go right
No, these kind of things, it's like a chimney, kind of funnels the aromas and flavors, right? So
and it keeps it in when you swirl, which is very important. So, designed this way for a purpose. We're starting here.
we're doing a
Super Bowl wine weekend, so we have the party-sized bottles. But what do we have here?
We're starting with a wine from Australia called Tin Dog Chardonnay, and it's again, our theme was party bottles for the Super Bowl. So, anyways, what I want you to do is first thing we do is a lot of times we'll use a white napkin or something like that. So grab that. So what we're trying to do is show you how to taste like the pros. We always take a look at it through the glass into a white thing, into a white background, white tablecloth, things like that. And
much different than holding it up for sure.
Yeah, when you hold it up like this, it just looks real yellow. When you see it here, you see a little paler. The rim get pale, gets pale. And what you're doing is you're looking for haze in there, sediment, which would be appropriate in an older red. But in a white, you don't want to see anything floating in there or anything like that. So you can also look at the rim tells you a little bit about the age when you're looking at a red wine. So first thing you do is give it a good look. Now the next thing is that swirl. And if you put too much wine in the glass, you're going to spill it all over yourself. So,
plus you don't get as much air in.
Right. So if you're feeling comfortable with it, just give it a good swirl. If not, it's kind of like training wheels. Put it down on the desk or table, give it a good spin. But you give it that swirl, and it brings the liquid up on the glass, you can get a better smell. Now, so the first thing was the sight, take a look at it, then to give it that swirl. Then immediately after that swirl, you want to give it a smell. I want you to try 2 different things. I want you to try swirl it, and then give it one long sniff. Give that a try and see what you get out of it. And then I want you to do it again. Give it another swirl, but this time give it a few short sniffs like that sort of thing. See if you get any difference. Some people get more information by going 3 or 4 short.
Yeah, I would say shorter because the longer one, the second half of the longer one, I lose almost all the aroma. It's more like just air. The shorter sniffs, I definitely get the aroma. Right. And I would say on this, you know, my vocabulary versus my palate. I'm not sure if they're equal, but I'm definitely going to say on the fruity side.
Right. So what the wine tasters are going to do is trying to examine that fruit. What kind of fruit might take? Citrus, tropical fruits, and when you have a Chardonnay, you usually expect things like from a warm climate,
Smell
you get tropical
kiwi,
flavor.
a little kiwi.
There's always going to be a little oak in most of these Chardonnays. And if you were into that Zen thing, you could do the 8:30. Do the wine.
Not a huge Chardonnay guy typically, but I was going to say, I don't know if you can really smell whether it's dry or sweet or not.
You can
I
sometimes.
sense a little dryness, but I know Chardonnay is typically on the
If you had
sweet
dessert
side.
wine, if you were smelling a dessert wine, you'd know for sure there's some sugar. So
Great brewery.
here you do your smell, you do your sniff, and then you finally get down to the taste. Now, what I want you to do when you take your next taste, don't just swallow. You want to almost gargle it. Put it all over your tongue.
Right.
So give it a good.
Yeah.
So kind of chew the wine and swallow. You get a lot more information than just swallowing.
Pull from the window.
Not a cold one?
The other thing you can try, and this sometimes people practice at home, it gets a little, you can choke. But what you do is you draw wine, you take a sip of wine, draw some air in as you're swallowing it. And that brings, you're aerating it, brings it up to the back of the sense factor.
Up to the brain, up to the back of the
The olfactory.
where it all ends up anyway eventually.
So, after you've seen, we do the sight, we do the swirl, we do the sniff, swish it around over your taste buds. Then you start thinking, now comes the savor. What do you think of the wine? Is it a dry wine? Now this wine, there's really not a lot of sweetness. There's some fruit,
Yeah.
a little bit of acidity. Then you start thinking, what's the overall impression? Does it last? Does it stay with you for a really long time? Does it have a long finish, in other words? Do you start thinking about what I'd have to eat with it, those sorts of things? Half of wine tasting is really remembering. Try to remember, oh, I've had a Chardonnay that tasted like this reminds me of that, things like that.
So the long finish is really how long the taste lasts.
After you finish and swallowed it, how long can you still taste it?
I got a lot more out of the swishing in my mouth versus just the short swallow. Absolutely, so definitely worth it. Because I can't say that I've taken a lot of time. If I pick up a couple of bottles here, GlenRo, take them home, try it. I can't say I swish it around. I try a sip. If I like it, great. And most of them I do. By the way, I'd say for a Chardonnay, definitely not bad. What about, here's a term I've heard of, and I'm not quite sure what it means, tannins. Does that apply to white or red or any type of wine?
Not as much to whites. Whites do have some, but not very much. Tannins, you don't really taste tannins. It comes from the seeds, the barrel, the stems, and
What are tannins?
it's a compound that comes, like I said, from barrels, from oak aging, from the skins, from the seeds, and it's an astringent feeling. You don't actually taste tannin. You sense it, and you feel it like the tips of your tongue, the tip of your tongue, the sides of your tongue. It's a drink. Think of a tea. You know how tea can be very astringent? There's tannic acid in the tea.
Oh, okay.
So you get that same drying sensation, but it preserves wine.
Something that's added to the wine. Okay, great.
You want to try it red?
We're going to wrap up this episode on tasting white, and then we're going to get into a red taste. So excellent, John. Thanks so much. I appreciate the time.
Thanks for coming.
Great to be here. Life is Hard TV, the life show for the rest of us, the Wine Channel, here with Jon Haight. Thanks, everybody.
See you next time.